Welcome to Envisioning My Health Meditation. A quote from Dr. Richard Bach, the originator of the Bach flower remedies for emotional issues. To bring anything into your life, imagine that it is already there. What is disease? What is health? There are many perspectives on these questions. I would love to share mine. Why is there sickness and misery in our world? If the divine mind created all that is, why not just strength, joy, health, and plenty? Why weren't these created only? If simply creating a vision of one's desires and holding it in the mind without anxiety, doing on the outward plane whatever seems necessary to make the desire or bring the desire into fulfillment, then there seems no reason for the existence of poverty and sickness. Surely no one desires either. The first reason, according to Genevieve Barron, for why we do not create health or even wealth is that few people take the trouble to inquire into the working principles of the laws of life. If they did, they would soon convince themselves that there is no necessity for sickness and poverty, which we see about us. They would realize that visualizing is a principle and not a fallacy. There are a few who have found it worthwhile to study this simple though absolutely unfailing law, which will deliver them from suffering. However, people as a whole are not willing to give the time required to master this principle. It is either too simple or too difficult. They may make a picture of their desire with some little understanding and visualize for a day or two, but more frequently they give up, even after just 1 hour. Thought has great power when you hold it in the form of a mental picture. And the more enthusiasm and faith that you are able to put into the picture, the more quickly it will come into visible form. And your enthusiasm is increased by keeping your desire secret. Sharing it with others dissipates its energy. Sharing what troubles you, on the other hand, may be a good way to release what you do not want. Another reason your picture does not materialize is because you have introduced something antagonistic to the fundamental desire. This destructive element can be caused by frequently changing how you see what you want. We become addicted to the thoughts of what is wrong. Kicking Cancer's Ass, that was a book written by a lady that I used to do yoga with. So what does the subconscious mind see and believe here? It sees the word cancer. So for her, unfortunately, she left this life. What does the subconscious mind see and believe? Like I said, just the word cancer. After so many changes, you go back to the original picture or desire. Changes in your mind and thinking. You wonder why things do not materialize. Perhaps you thought that your visualization was dependent on certain persons or conditions. But the power of visualization is not dependent on outside factors like persons, places, things. Instead, you should be feeling what you so desire is normal and natural and a part of yourself, a form of your evolution. If you can do this, there is no power to prevent you enjoying the fulfillment of the picture you have in mind or any other thing you may desire to create. There are many stories of how people have lost weight, created health from disease, and wealth from a seeming lack. The story of Dr. Joe Dispenza, the chiropractor, is one of my favorites. In 1986, he was on a bike-a-thon and was hit on the bicycle in the rear and knocked off by a Ford Bronco. He received a great wake-up call. To wake up, he says. He had 6 compression fractures in his back vertebrae. The solution proposed was a Harrington rod, a surgical procedure. He consulted 4 different doctors who all recommended the surgery. He was even told he would never walk again. Joe checked himself out of the hospital. He went through 6 weeks of hell, first reconstructing his vertebrae and then flipping his thoughts to spending the rest of his life in a wheelchair and selling his practice. After flipping his mind back and forth, he started reconstructing and visualizing the repair of his vertebrae for 3 hours daily. He felt something click or start to work. In 10 weeks, he was able to walk, and by 12 weeks, he was back to normal. He focused on the intelligence in his body, which he knew exactly, which his body knew exactly what it had to do. And I want to also share that this visualization went from 3 hours to 45 minutes. Dr. Joe says that our thoughts are often about negative outcomes. Since our bodies are 78% water, which can store information, this information freezes in our crystalline cellular matrix. Negative outcomes, just as positive thoughts, are just like a snowflake that will freeze into a beautiful crystal. Dr. Emoto wrote a book and published a book with pictures of beautiful thoughts becoming beautiful ice crystals. I want to share the story of Mary Morrissey. As a teenager, she got pregnant in high school at the age of 17. I think it was spring break in her junior year. And she was sent, this was back in 1960s. And she was sent to a school for wayward girls where she graduated from high school, had her baby, a baby boy, and 9 months later, she ended up in the hospital with kidney failure, and they were going to remove one of her kidneys, and the other kidney was only functioning at 50%. And this woman chaplain came to visit her the night before the surgery. And she asked Mary what's been going on in her life. And Mary told her about what had happened and about her little boy. So this angel or chaplain said, Mary, you know, everything is created twice. First, it's created in our mind, and then it's created in our outside reality. So she asked Mary if she would be willing to visualize this, all these negative thoughts and shame that she had been feeling about herself being released from her body. And Mary said she didn't think that she could do that or believe that she would heal from doing that. So this chaplain, angel of light, said, well, Mary, would you believe in my belief that this disease is going to go into the kidney that they're going to remove tomorrow, and that it's going to all totally leave your body and you will be healed? And Mary said, yes, she thought that might be possible. But this angel of light also had Mary visualize some things, like her taking her little boy to his first day of kindergarten, holding his hand and walking to his first day of kindergarten. She also had Mary visualize going to this little boy's wedding and dancing and having a great time. So Mary had the surgery and she started feeling better. And she wanted to live. I think they told her she only had 6 months to live. But she kept getting better and better. And like after 6 months, the doctor said that her one remaining kidney that was only 50% functional was healed. The doctors, of course, didn't understand this, but Mary is still alive today, very much alive, and she's one of the coaches that I have, the founder of the Life Mastery Institute. I want to share the story of Myrtle Fillmore, the founder with Charles Fillmore of the Unity Churches. Myrtle had tuberculosis. She went to a talk one day where she heard or was told, you are a child of God and therefore you do not inherit disease. So Myrtle was really amazed at this affirmation. So she decided to take it to heart, and every day she would sit and meditate for an hour or more and send love to her lungs and body. She did this every day for 2 years. And after this time period, she was well again. And she lived quite a while, much longer, I think into her 90s, around 90. I want to share the story of Louise Hay. Louise Hay is the founder of Hay House, the largest transformational publication house in the world. And Louise died about, I think, 5 or 6 years ago in her early 90s. And Louise was abused by her stepfather, emotionally and sexually. She had very low self-esteem. She ran away from home at the age of 15 and accepted kindness from any man that would offer it to her. So by the age of 16, she was pregnant, gave the baby up for adoption. She later married, never had any children, but she began to study the principles of how we create disease. And she wrote a book. It's called You Can Heal Your Life. Anyhow, Louise developed cancer. And she didn't believe that, it was a death sentence. She decided that there was something that she needed to do. And one of the things that she did was consult various alternative healers. And she also knew that she had to feel some toxic emotions and feelings that she had. She studied forgiveness. And she learned to see her abuser as a little boy who was probably also abused. So Louise Hay released that cancer from her body. Me, I have created arthritis in my right knee, but I am doing amazingly well. Not only do I visualize my health 2 times daily, I have created multiple conditions and visualizations for its perfection. I hydrate well at all times. I have learned from experts in hydration how to maximize my. I have studied the microbiome. Do you know that there are 10 times more microbes in our gut than we have cells in our body? Did you know that the balance of these microbes influences, in fact, determines our health? How do you determine ways to have a healthy microbiome? Do you avoid antibiotics? Do you eat a variety of fresh fruits and vegetables? Some of them should definitely be raw too. Do you know about parasites? I have made it my passion to understand as much as I can about this. What is your daily emotional state like? What are you thinking about when you think? Are you in love with your life and grateful for all its abundance? Do you see lack of acknowledgement or lack of love, a lack of money, a lack of friends? Or are you grateful for all the abundance around you? The birds that sing, the flowers, and their amazing colors and beauty? Do you feel lack from having no partner? What do you want to create? If you would love to change your daily emotional state to sustain joy and gratitude, I have a simple program for creating this. I could go on indefinitely discussing trapped emotions, which we have created and inherited from our ancestors. Right now, I'm just going to do my little visualization exercise, and I will be glad to share it with you via email. I say it twice a day, every morning and evening. So let us just close our eyes. Take in a few deep breaths. Let your breath out. Take in another deep breath. Let it out. One more deep breath. Let us connect to our divine potential to be amazing by creating amazing things. Prayer or meditation, according to Greg Braden, is just envisioning and feeling what you desire and being grateful for it. Thank you, God, for this day. Thank you for my life. Thank you that unconditional love pours into every cell in my body like a waterfall. Thank you for the universe and for the universe supporting me unconditionally. Thank you for love, joy, bliss, and the ecstasy of my senses. Thank you for my family and friends. Thank you for my home, my transportation, my clothes. Thank you for the nutritious food I eat today. Bless it. May it nourish me in the optimal way. Thank you. Every cell in my body is happy. Every cell in my body is healthy. Thank you. All my cells vibrate with the optimal vibration of love. Thank you for all animals and their love. Thank you for trees, plants, flowers, and how they sustain my life. Thank you for the awesome gift of sound and ears to hear it all. Thank you, my cells take in nourishment in the optimal way. Thank you, my cells release toxins in the optimal way. Thank you, all my mitochondria manufacture energy and function in the optimal way. Thank you, my telomeres are the optimal energy and length. Thank you, my DNA strands are fully charged with love, light, and sound and replicate in the optimal way. And thank you, my collagen, keratin, elastin, hyaluronic acid regenerates in the optimal way. Thank you, the energy flows through all my meridians in the optimal way. Thank you, my joints, or whatever area of challenge you have, are happy and healthy. Thank you, my joints and cells absorb water in the optimal way. Thank you, all my cells release metabolic toxins, uric acid crystals in the optimal way. Thank you, all my cells absorb carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, glucose, human growth hormone, MSM, sulfur, sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, all minerals and vitamins as needed in the optimal way, down to the quantum level, matter to energy and energy to matter. Thank you for my happy, healthy microbiome and that it supports beneficial microorganisms as known to divine intelligence that sustain my health in the optimal way. And thank you for the alkaline pH of my cells and the high zeta potential around my cells. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done. Show me how, show me now. So I will email this to you. You can change it or add whatever you like to it. And if you need to ask for suggestions, just ask. Thank you and blessings.
That was fantastic.
Oh, thank